And on a beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon in Eugene for this is our fireside chat, except we don't have a fireside, but we do have a candle. Is our candle lit? I don't think so. Can somebody light our candle, please? Thank you. All right. Well, thank you for coming anyway. I'm Ted Taylor, your board president this year, and Reverend Inga is one of our great shining lights in this congregation, and I'd like her to open this meeting with a prayer, if you may.
So let's all take a deep breath and come fully present as we shift focus to the business at hand, God's business. We were called and we showed up for this beautiful spiritual community where we are there for each other and for the community, to be present, to listen, to reach out, and to let our light shine beyond these four walls, to make a difference, each and every one of us, in whatever way comes to us. We each bring gifts to the table. Let's share those gifts. And through such sharing, we magnify the effect. So with that synergy in mind, let us open our hearts and minds to the power of Spirit working in us, as us, and through us. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Inga, for your inspiration today and every day. At this time, I'd like to ask the current members of our Board of Trustees to introduce themselves. I think we might need a microphone for that. Can we start with Geneva? Yes.
Hi, my name is Geneva, and I've been on the board for 5 years, got one more year left, and it's been enjoyable and a trial.
I'm Richard Everett, and been on the board for a couple of years now. Got one more to go. It's been the experience of my life. Growth, challenge, love. It's a ministry in itself, and I'm very thankful to be a part of it.
I'm Bonnie Paquin, and I'm just finishing my first year on the board.
Good afternoon. My name is Cindy Fulton-Tinowee, and this is the end of my first year on the board. And I am relearning the lesson of patience. I thought I had it down. I was wrong. And also of loving service.
My name is Alice Sparks, and I'm so grateful to be able to be of service on the board. It's been a beautiful, beautiful experience for me, and I've been on here this is my third year. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michael Tickner, and I'm imminently retiring from the board, but it's been a wonderful experience just because it seems like we're always in agreement over things eventually.
I'm Bonnie Chapa, and this is my second rodeo. I was on the board from 2013 to 16, and I'm starting my second year of my first term. Or second?
Good afternoon. I'm Sarah Nay Smith, and this year completes my sixth. Let's see if I get this right. This year is the completion of my 6th year on the Board of Trustees, so I'm completing my term. And it has been a journey of love, of learning, of patience, of growing, and really a deep dive into what unity really means as a teaching and as a covenant to live by. And I'm very grateful for that.
I've already introduced myself. I'm Ted. Anyway, this is wrapping up my 5th year. I have one more year to go. Would you like to keep caretaker of the microphone? Yes. And now, as you've heard, 2 of our board members, Michael Tickner and Sarah Smith, are retiring from our board after 6 short years, I should say. They have been term limited out, as they would say in the legislature, but with our gratitude and our blessings. Mike has been a solid presence on our board, served as our vice president for 5 years. He has held on through tough times and easy times and helped us vote through a lot of tough decisions. And Sarah was our president for 5 years and our treasurer this past year. Her medical background and her prior experience managing nonprofits much larger than ours have really helped us get through COVID and other challenges we've faced over the years. Sarah also serves on our shared leadership team, and I expect her to stay involved in that and stay involved in leadership. And I believe we have some small gifts for Mike and Sarah. Let me see if I can find them. One moment. Michael, this is in lieu of 2 weeks in vacation in Hawaii.
How sweet.
And we have also a wonderful basket. These things are heavy. Bonnie Pickle put these together, and this is for you as well. I'm not sure where you'd like to put it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you all.
Now, we have a flock of candidates who have been brought forward by our nominating committee to serve on the Board of Trustees going forward. Alice Sparks she's an incumbent board member. She's seeking a second 3-year term. And then Gaia Christine, there she is, and Sean Heron, there he is, are running for their first 3-year terms. And then Edward Van Sciver is a candidate for the 1-year alternate position. Now, our administrator, Gina, has counted the ballots. I checked in this, they've all been counted. And do we have what is the results of our election?
It is approved.
It is approved. So, congratulations. And, yeah. So, okay. Now, Ed is out of town. He couldn't be here. He's out of town all week and couldn't be here this week, but he's asked me to say that he is looking forward to serving and is grateful for the opportunity to get to know more members of the congregation. He's fairly new to us. And now, would Guy or Sean or Alice have anything they would like to come and say? We have a microphone.
Hello, I just want to thank everybody. I'm so excited, and it's a great opportunity to be able to serve. I like volunteering for all the different things at Unity, and this is just another way for me to be able to serve more intensely and learn so much from these amazing people. I've been able to attend a few of the meetings, and I'm so impressed with how you guys do it, and it's just beautiful. And I'm just thank you again. I'm so excited to serve and be part of the board. Thank you.
Gaia, would you like to say a few words?
A few. So I would like to say thank you so much for this opportunity. I love each and every one of you so much that I've gotten to know, and it's such a blessing, and I look forward to the opportunities that will connect all of us together in the near future. Such an honor.
Thank you. Okay. Now, we are looking forward to your initiation at your first board meeting in March, and it's not going to be too painful, and there's usually a chocolate involved, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. Now, you all should have a copy of your minutes from last year's annual meeting, and the board has had a chance to look at that and we didn't, if we'd made changes, it was a year ago and we've forgotten what they are, but does anyone here have any questions or comments about the minutes from last year's annual congregational meeting? I do not see any hands raised. Can I entertain a motion to approve the minutes from last year's meeting?
Make a motion we approve the minutes for last year.
Okay, we got that. And is there a second to that motion? Okay, we have a second. By a show of hands, or unless there's more discussion, by a show of hands, can we approve? Very good. It looks like we've carried the motion.
Can you say the names of who made the motions for the recording?
Yeah, we got Justice. Was it Justice who made the motion?
Yeah, Justice
Gross. And then we had. Is that Betsy Priddle was seconding the motion? Okay, thank you. My eyes and my ears aren't working great. So. Okay. Now, next is our approval of the bylaws amendments, and I think Bonnie Paquin, you had some words to say about that.
This last year, both the board and the shared leadership team spent considerable time taking a look at our model of shared leadership. And we're asking, is this the model that we want to continue? Is it working for us? And if so, how do we move it forward and how do we strengthen it? So throughout all those discussions, it was decided that yes, indeed, this works well for us. It has been a very good model for more than a decade now. And one of the things we decided was that we really needed to update our bylaws to reflect using the shared leadership model. So I don't want to go through all of the amendments, but I'm hoping that some of you took time to read the summary of the proposed amendments, and then out in the foyer was a marked up version of the complete 17 or 18 pages where you could see where the changes were. And I don't want to go through all of them, but I do want to highlight some of them so that everyone's aware of the major changes that we made here. And the first one was to add a definition of shared leadership. We had just a mention that we thought this was a good idea, but we thought we really ought to go a little bit further and add a definition. So we did that, and since that's kind of a major thing, I do want to talk about that. Let's see. Section 3C. I apologize. I did not go through this copy. I had a different one. Okay, so I'm not going to read it. But I do want you to be aware that we added a definition, and that definition includes our focus on having a ministerial team rather than one minister. And that really is at the forefront of how we function as a shared leadership group. So that definition is important, and the other really major changes we made then is that under definitions, we had a number of ways that we could choose to operate under any Unity Church. and they had senior ministers, they had co-ministers, they had associate ministers, and we wanted to have our ministerial team. So the big thing to go along with our definition of shared leadership was that we deleted the old definitions, and we added a definition of ministerial team / minister, with the idea that our preference is always to have a team approach. Under the old definitions, the person that was the spiritual guide here needed to have to be an ordained unity minister, or a licensed minister, or someone going through the special dispensation program. That hasn't changed. Under our definition of the team, one person of those teams still must meet that criteria. But then the rest of the team is made up from that ministerial team who decides who's the best way to give us that spiritual guidance. And the bylaws lay out a whole series of things that the ministers are supposed to do. None of that has changed. We're just saying now, instead of having a senior minister or an associate ministers, that's what our ministerial team does. We went with ministerial team / minister, just in case down the road, either there aren't more than one person available, or maybe in the next decade, the congregation will decide that they are happy to have one minister. So that's left as an option. So what they do hasn't changed. What changes is that we're saying right up front that our spiritual guidance comes from this ministerial team. Now, that team continues to be part of the board, just like they always have been. All 3 people attend the board meetings, but the team only gets 1 vote. So if you have a spiritual leader, you have only 1 minister, they get 1 vote. We have a ministerial team. Right now it's 3. Maybe in the future it'll be 2, maybe it'll be 4. However many there are, they still only get 1 vote. So we've been doing this now, like I say, for over a decade. We've got it down pretty well, and we really wanted our bylaws to reflect that. Throughout the bylaws, they referred to senior minister, and since we don't have one, there are 23 places. If you look through the marked up version, you will see all these places where it's marked out senior minister and replaced with ministerial team / minister. So those, in essence, are the 2 really big changes that reflect how we actually operate. There are a couple of other minor changes that we made, and they basically just sort of clean things up. Things like changing words under the section that deals with who can be on the board and what the exceptions are. It said that if you use an exception to allow somebody to come on the board, that it had to be done by a consensus. And we discovered that consensus could mean either everybody has to agree, or it could mean that a majority has to agree. So one of our amendments is to change consensus to majority so that it is consistent with, we used majority every place else. Not a big change, but it's a change. We made a change to allow meetings to be held either in person or electronically. That needed to be updated because when the bylaws were done, we didn't have Zoom and all of those kinds of things that we have now. And in fact, we do have those meetings as hybrids. So some of us meet here, some of us do it online. And so those are the essence of the changes. And I wanted to go over especially those definitions and answer any questions that you have. Yeah.
Sorry, Bonnie, on the website anywhere that someone can see? And
They are on the bylaw, they are on the website, but we also prepared out in the foyer, if you didn't get it as part of your packets, we did a marked up version where we took the bylaws and we actually marked out the old language and put in the new, so you can see exactly what the changes are.
Okay, my second question is, consensus is when you're present, or is it a vote? I mean, how do you come to consensus as a majority?
It's a vote.
It's a vote by, sent out to.
Well, like I say, we defined consensus as majority. And that's why we changed the words to make it very clear. And it is decided by vote.
By vote, with people who are present to come up with consensus, or as a vote going mailed out to the membership? And
No, it's those present.
those present. Thank you for clarifying that.
She's talking about membership, this is about the board.
Yeah, what I'm talking about here is our board members. We have 12 board members, right? And some of them are at the meeting in person, and some are online, with Zoom.
Okay.
But we're all there and everybody votes.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah. Any other questions? 'Cause-
Just to clarify, a majority is a simple majority.
Yes.
Not a 2/3 or anything like that.
Yeah. We try to keep it simple as possible. Most of us are getting up there. Yes, Justice.
Yes, and your number 8, change elected active members. Does active member mean someone who's gone through all the classes, or just somebody from?
Yes, a member is someone who has gone through the classes and filled out our little form. Any of us who would get one of those little yellow things that says you can vote, you're a member.
And they've requested to become a member.
Thank you, yes. Any other questions? Amy?
Who is the shared ministry team right now?
Our shared ministry team is John West, Inga Tarantola, and Sherry, and Reverend Sherry. The ministerial team.
And it's page 10 lists the people. In here on page 10 will list all the people on.
Is that who I'm sorry, is that who you asked for the ministerial team or the shared leadership team?
Shared leadership, yeah.
Ministerial team, that's what I thought, yeah. So and we are actually going to be getting photographs. That was part of the discussion when we were talking about sort of highlighting our shared leadership model. And so in the foyer, before too long, you will see pictures of our ministerial team so that when you come in, you recognize that, oh, we have more than one person here at the head of our spiritual leadership. We think that's an important statement because that is one of the things that makes us different. Betsy. Gina's on the shared leadership team, but the question was who's on the ministerial team. Now, part of our definition talks about not only our ministerial team, but also having a shared leadership team that supports the ministerial team. And that group is made up of leaders of certain parts of the congregation. So, those of you who are on the ministerial the shared leadership team, would you raise your hand? So we have the staff, Laura and Gina, and the ministerial team. And then we have Gary, who represents our maintenance group. We have Serenay, who's been representing our board. We have Alice, who represents not only YFM, but a whole bunch of other groups. She gets around. We have Sunny, who represents the kitchen group, and Geneva, who represents that group, as well as the board and the welcoming new people and stuff. So that is a group. That group meets every week, and they take up. It's like a big staff meeting. They talk about what's happening Sunday morning. They also talk about some of the big issues that may be happening within the congregation, and some of them are sometimes involved with some of the groups, the working groups of the board. So that is a support group, and that's the shared leadership team who supports the ministerial team. Any other questions about what we're doing here? Like I say, the main thing is focusing on shared leadership and changing the definition of our ministers to reflect ministerial team. Then I think if we don't have any other issues, we're ready to call for a vote. Do you want to do that, Mr. President?
Thank you, Bonnie. I think everyone has their questions answered. At this point, I would welcome a motion to approve the changes to our bylaws. Susie Ingles, and do I have a second?
I'll second it.
And Julia Linebarger Taylor is our second. Any further discussion? Otherwise, I shall call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion, please raise your hands. Looks like it's unanimous. Thank you very much. The motion carries. Okay. It's a little bit out of order, but we do have a nominating committee that that every year they get together in probably December and look to see who's interested in becoming a candidate to serve on the board for the following year or years. And this past year, it's been Bev Forrester and John Garrett. Our bylaws require us to have 2 members from the congregation and then 2 members from the board. So it was John, Bev, and then we had Bonnie Chapa and John West representing the board and ministers in this committee. They get together and they ask really tough questions of the people who are interested in being on the board. It's the same questions every time, I believe, but it's important. It's not a big commitment, but it's an important function that we do, and it's required by our bylaws. And we are supposed to do that at our annual meeting. We are supposed to nominate and elect 2 members from our congregation to serve on that committee. Is there anyone here who would like to nominate themselves, or maybe somebody else? That could get awkward. If not, the board will have to go and recruit somebody. So I don't see any hands coming up. You can always talk to me or John later about this. So I see we do not have any nominations. Okay. The board report is next, and I guess that's me. I won't read the report because I think there's quite a bit of information. There's a bunch of bullet points about what specific things the board has accomplished this past year. But this is the first time in my memory that we've had a full board. We had 7 people for several years. COVID was tough. It was hard to get people involved and especially show up for meetings even on Zoom. But this year we had a full board of 9 plus. We've added Reverend Inga and Reverend Sherry. Sherry would like to be here today. I don't think she's going to make it home today, but she wishes she could be here, but she can't. So that gives us a total of 11, the way I counted anyway. And it's a very lively 12. Who's the 12th person?
We have 3 on the ministerial team plus 9 board members.
But isn't John one of those 9?
But Sherry's not here.
No. Okay, I miscounted. Math was never. Okay, we have a dozen. Yeah, it's kind of amazing we put that many people together and we can actually get more done than we did when we had fewer people. I don't know why that is. There's an interesting dynamic there. Our three new board members have injected a whole lot of enthusiasm onto our board. It's kind of funny how just 1 or 2 people can change the dynamics. In this case, we had 3 dynamos join the board. The 2 Bonnies had been on the board before, so they were able to hit the ground running. And Cindy has been great too. She really is a driving force, and whenever she speaks, we all perk up and listen because she's got that fire, you know. So we've had a good productive year, and our largest responsibility as a board is the being stewards of our church's financial health, and it's always been it's always been a challenge balancing the budget, and especially in those years when our revenues go down and we're expecting they might have gone up. And so this has been one of those years. And I'll let our treasurer, Serenade, talk about her report now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Like Ted, I won't read the full report. There's a lot of numbers and information in there for you to look at. I'm just going to give you a brief synopsis. Once again, through the abundance of divine spirit and the ongoing generosity of our spiritual community, 2024 was a beautiful, fulfilling, and prosperous year. Early in the year, we saw that there could be a shortfall in the income, and that could be due to many things. Inflation, one. We love to give bonuses. We love to give gifts and treats, and so we may have overdone it in the last couple of years. But so this year we had to slow down on that. But for a variety of reasons, our income wasn't matching our monthly expenses. So that gave us a wonderful opportunity to really look at what was going on, to really go down the list of expenses and see where we could make cuts, or where we could cut some corners or things like that. And then we also looked at ways that we could increase revenue. And in the report, you'll see that we did that very carefully. In certain areas, we increased revenue. And hopefully we'll see more of the proceeds of that coming in next year. Let's see. We had a big surprise. In December, some of you may recall, way back in the COVID years, we were very blessed with government grants, the pandemic grants. And we received, I believe it was 3. And it was quite a blessing. And then the way the grants worked was that if you verified how the funds were used, we didn't have to pay it back, which was even a lot more fun. So towards the end of last year, just out of the blue, we had no idea it was going to come. We had a very large check. It was for over $11,000 come in. And we were struggling with our deficit at that point and just trying to make ends meet. So with that coming in, and then we had almost $5,000 come in from our wonderful ornament fundraiser, which was so much fun. That really helped overall at the end of the year to kind of cut the corners. And so we ended up at the end of the year with still a deficit. It was around $11,000, but that was about half of that was cut out, or more than half, with the grant and our little fundraiser. So that was like a real Christmas present. We had no idea. We weren't expecting that. So in the end, the good news was that at the end of the year, somehow, I mean, numbers are a funny thing, to me anyway. I love them, but they have a certain sense of humor that's all their own. So somehow, by the end, we started out running in the deficit, and we ran like little sheep to try to catch up all year. And then by the end of the year, our total of our net total as a church was $214,000. Well, guess what? That's exactly what it was when we began the year, way back at the end of 2024. So miracles happen, and I am always just so impressed. I've always been so impressed by the generosity of this congregation. It really warms our heart. So with our heart and minds firmly rooted in the principles of prosperity consciousness, Unity will continue to thrive and move forward as a shining light in our community, providing valuable resources, educational programs, Sunday messages, our children and music programs. We're so blessed in this community. And with our hearts attuned to abundance, we look forward to the new year with faith and joy. And I just want to say that it's been my pleasure this last year of my term as a Board of Trustee member of Unity of the Valley to be the treasurer, because it even connected me more in a way with the heart throb of this congregation. I have this sense from experiences in my life where people have taught me the value of a cent, just 1 cent. So I feel a great sense of responsibility as a steward, and I know we all do, for every single cent that anybody gives to this congregation is sacred. And I'm so grateful that I got to see that money put in action and got to see the results of it. So thank you all very much, and I know we will continue to prosper.
I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Sorry, what I'm noticing on the numbers is a deficit of 11,000, but what I'm hearing was that was maybe something different than that. Was the deficit at the end of the year 11,000, or were you?
No.
Okay.
No, the 11, we thought it was going to be considerably more, but after the grant money came in and the fundraiser came in, our deficit was only 11,394.
So that's how, so there's still $11,000 that was short for 2024.
Correct.
Okay.
But with everything else paid and all the other balancing of the books, we came out exactly as we had begun in the beginning of the year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any more questions? No. Good. Thank you. Our next speaker is going to be John and Inga.
So I'm just going to speak briefly on behalf of the ministerial team, and Inga may want to add her own comments. First of all, just thank you, each of you who are joining in this community gathering today, and just being part of this spiritual family. And I hope that that's what the energy people feel as they come here and experience this. From my experience on the ministerial team, it's just such an easy joy to work as part of a team. And of course, I've known Sherry and Inga for decades, and we're all pretty used to each other by now. And there's just an easy flow. And when Bonnie Paquin was talking about the emphasis on shared leadership, that was really the spirit in which we came together, because we had seen just the common practice in churches to have so much power concentrated in an individual. And so we wanted to express this idea that, you know, the reality is that Spirit is shining in each one of us. And there used to be that role of the minister who was kind of like the bridge between God and you. And the whole message of unity is that no, there is no separation between any of us and Spirit. And so really trying to emphasize that in the way we lead means it's sort of stepping back and opening our arms to all the input that's coming in. As you look at the ministerial report, one of the things that's mentioned as a highlight for the year is this 7-week interfaith series. Does anybody remember that series that we had? We had all these speakers. Well, how did that come about? It came about because in our weekly shared leadership team meeting, where the ministers meet with various leaders and we just brainstorm and we share what's going on in our lives and we share ideas. Well, I believe it was Gina, our administrator, who said, you know, I think it's time we have an interfaith series. And it was just like, well, there's Spirit talking through one of us, and we just rolled with it. So that's what I mean about, you know, when you open your heart to the idea that Spirit is all around us and you get out of this notion that you have to be the one controlling and leading, there's a certain ease and a grace and a flow because it's just flowing all around you and through you. And I hope you'll get that sense as you read the various reports, because this is truly a community of Spirit shining through each one of us, and I see that in each one of you, and I see that in our kids. I got waylaid by 3 of them after the service, and 3 kids were surrounding me and grabbing me and taking me into the youngest room and said, "Okay, you're our baby. Now you have to." And it was just so fun to see this boldness, this expression of spirit in our youth. Yes, your grandson was in there. I got waylaid by him too. So yeah, briefly I pretended like I was sucking my thumb and I was their baby. But sometimes you just have to go with the flow of Spirit. That's what Spirit wanted of me, so I'm there. So that's what we're all trying to do. Be in service to Spirit, not to our own need to control. And that's what makes this place such a joy. Did you want to add anything?
Last year, I made a commitment to stick around for at least another 5 years. So that means 4 years to go. It is my joy to do so pro bono because I receive so much more than I give. And ditto to everything John said. It's just a joy to be working with Sherry and with John. There's a great deal of love and respect, collaboration, and we just bounce off each other and the sparks fly and good things happen. I feel truly blessed to be surrounded by such wonderful colleagues. It makes it a joy to come here, and it so enriches my life. I live alone. You're my family. My kids live in LA. So I really do appreciate you. I appreciate being here and being able to be of service and to interact with you and to just take it all in. I am so blessed and so grateful. Oh, I get to do the prayer report? Okay. So you have a printout. Not really much has changed. All the various parts of our prayer ministry are in place and will continue to do so. I will be offering a prayer class sometime later this year when there's enough requests to justify having another class. And I truly enjoy doing that. Love the prayer interaction because it's so empowering. I want to be here to empower you so that we all know that we can minister to each other. John, Sherry, and I are not the only ones. You can all minister to one another. So I want to see you empowered to do that. And I wonder if there are any questions. There's only, yes?
I wonder if you might consider doing your prayer class in the evening sometime rather than in the middle of the day so I can come to it.
Good idea.
Could you repeat that in the microphone?
So the question is, would I offer the prayer class in the evening so that people who work in the daytime can participate? I would be glad to. Let's do that. Let's wait until it's light out so people people don't have to deal with the dark, because that often happens, that becomes a hindrance. Great suggestion. Thank you, Justice. Okay, any other questions? That's it then. Thank you.
Oh boy, what a way to make an entrance. I've just been sitting here reflecting on the past few years. My watch is going off now that I fell. It's telling me I fell. Anyway, I don't know what to do, how to get rid of that. But And you know, as those of you that know me know that I'm a very emotional person, and I just had the opportunity to reach out to the ministerial team recently to let them know what they mean to me and what they have meant to me over the past many, many years. We think it's been a couple of decades. And I just want to mention the love and trust and encouragement, acceptance that takes place here in this church community. It has been such a beautiful experience for me, and there's so many volunteers in YFM, and we could not survive without the volunteers that we have. And I want to say thank you to all of you. You know who you are, and you're so much appreciated. And the kids, what they bring to us, what they teach us, is so amazing and so beautiful. I am so connected with the kids and so grateful to be able to work with them. So does anybody have any questions for me? All right.
Thank you, Alice. It's amazing.
Oh. Thank you all. I love each and every one of you.
I went into the kids' class and was like, I want to go there instead of church. Is that really going to be like, I'm going to miss out on church? And I discovered, God's in the kids' rooms as well.
Thank you, Justice. Okay, Alice, I'm needing to just take a breath. We are so connected. I'm going to talk about shared leadership. And it really has been demonstrated. But one of the things that I've learned and grown into this shared leadership is that we always start our meetings with connecting and doing an individual check-in. And that means we all hold a space. We don't interrupt while they're sharing what's going on in their life. And of course, we begin and end in prayer. But I have learned there's no reason in holding back your love. And shared leadership has taught me that. So most of the time when we sign off of Zoom and we go our way, we're all saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. And what a great way. If I didn't see any of you again, I hope that's what you remember, is that I love you. And in shared leadership, we come together we've talked about it a lot here today, but we come to hold each other, lift each other up, and be of service. And we put our egos aside, and we really work as a team. And I'm so happy at the hard work the board has done to bring our bylaws into alignment with what it is that we do here. It is powerful. And as you get more and more immersed in it, you go, wow, why isn't the entire world using this model? So I'll get off my platform, off of shared leadership. For your administrator's report, I love my job. It is a unique position because I, in essence, work with everyone. And so it's like being the hub, and all of the spokes are coming in. So I work with all of the board members, all of the congregants, everyone. And it is a blessing, but it is also a lot of work. And there are times when things are coming at me, and I just need to take a breath and say, thank you for your grace. I can't get to it today. It might take me a few weeks, it might take me a month, but it is on the list. And so I thank you all for your grace for that. A few things I want to just highlight is our food barrel that's been out there. I think we've had that since Ariana started that program way back when in YFM. and we have kept the food barrel going, and we just keep filling it up. And I'm going to just give you an idea or a hint that a lot of times if I'm at the grocery store and I have a coupon for buy one, get one free, or buy two and get one free, I usually go ahead and do it, and I bring the extra and I put it in here. So just an idea. And then I wanted to talk about our Fred Meyer's Community Rewards. There are forms for these out in the foyer and in the fellowship hall. It's a really simple thing to do. If you shop at Fred Meyer's and you use a Fred Meyer's reward card, if you link it to Unity of the Valley, we get a donation, a percentage of all of the sales. It doesn't affect your card at all. It doesn't change how you shop. It just gives a donation to Unity on a quarterly basis. And so I shop there a lot. So I'm encouraging everyone to get the word out on that to help with that. Let's see. Love in Action signups are coming the 9th and the 16th. I know we keep talking about that. We really, really need volunteers. We've got a lot on board, but we need a lot in coordinator positions. And so we have 2 Sundays where we're going to have less tables to sit at, and that's on purpose, so you can walk around and talk to us. And each one of our coordinator volunteers gives of their time on that Sunday. So if you could stop by and visit and talk with them, find out what they're looking for and why do they volunteer at Unity, and then maybe sign up to do something, that would be really helpful. And then last but not least, of course, is the Volunteer Appreciation Brunch, and that's on the 15th. And I hope that all of you sign up to attend that. It is our service of love to give back to our volunteers. And like if you've sung in the choir or you've sung up here on stage, you're a volunteer. Sign up to come. If you are on the prayer team, sign up and come. It's wonderful for me to look into that fellowship hall as we're serving food to you all and entertaining you and go, wow, look at the sheer amount of people in our family that are bringing this community together and sharing our love. So please sign up for that. Thank you.
Mr. Facilities here. So you have the report. I really encourage you to read it because it has some important information for you. I had trouble sleeping last night, so I got to thinking about our facilities. And, you know, when it sits here vacant at night, it is a facilities, with all the needs that it needs and all the things that make it a facility. The composites that, and the wood and the metal and all that. But when we open our doors and you come in, you create a sacred space because you bring the sacredness within you. And I love that vision of sacred space. And then the next thought was, who owns this place? Well, if you are a member, you own it. And I thought, well, why don't we just pass out a monthly bill at the end of the month? Well, you can imagine what would happen there. So we have to trust in the prosperity that will come, and it comes because we trust in God. The next thing is the facilities does have demands, and one of them, or a couple of them, are imminent. We have 2 roofs to replace. We have the flat roof on the fellowship and office side, and then we have the major roof over the Fillmore wing. The price quoted to us on our first bid for the flat roof ranged from $36,000 to $40,000, depending on the materials we use. And so you can imagine replacing the roof on the Fillmore wing is going to be close to that. So we do have a challenge. We need to, because these roofs, especially the flat roof, has to be replaced. We did some repairs so it would quit leaking, but the roofer said, it's got to go. and so anyway, we have to look inside of each of ourselves, find ways to promote and raise money. And I know there's ideas bouncing around, but there's important challenges for us to take care of it. And I really love all the years I really have a connection with this place. I love it. And I love the feeling of the sacredness here that we have created. I mean, some Sundays, I just feel the flow of the Spirit. And that's such a wonderful thing. And so we are very lucky. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Laura Dubois, the music director. My report is in the booklet, and I only want to just talk about one thing today because it's so apropos to our times. There are a lot of people right now feeling the world's in a dire position, and they're afraid, and they are feeling hopeless. And I want to take us back to 2020 when we were entering COVID. And at that point, this beautiful piano that was on loan was taken away. They were going to take away the piano because everybody was contracting. They needed to, get their money for the piano, and they had loaned it to us for free for so many years from the Oregon Music Teachers Association and classic pianos. And at this point of entering the dark times of the pandemic, when everyone was contracting and pulling in and not giving money, we got together from this congregation, a group of volunteers. Some people gave little bits. Some people gave huge amounts. Some people gave $100 every month for as long as it took. And guess what? In 2024, this piano is 100% paid for. That's $25,000. So that is the power of what can be done with love and faith and just creativity and in doing it. So I have no worries that we will raise this money for this roof. The music team is just so honored to be here. We are growing and thriving, and we love every minute of it. We love you, and we appreciate you. And I want to thank all those donors that made this piano possible here. That's it.
Thank you, Laura, and everyone for all their wonderful reports. Not everyone who had a report spoke today, but their reports are in the packet. And do we have any, this is the time in our meeting when we ask people if they have any questions or comments that we've got a lot of people up here with a lot of information in their heads. And if anybody has any questions that we have not yet already addressed, or if you have a new concern, yes, Wendy.
Can you hear me? I have a comment. On behalf of the congregation, I just want to thank each and every one of you for your dedicated service. And while you are up here and you are shining light on the work that has been done, there are so many times where it's pouring rain outside, or what you thought was going to be service of 2 hours ends up to be 6 or 8 hours, or what you were hoping was a short board meeting turns into, I'm guessing, a little bit more challenge and being able to practice grace and patience. So for all of those times, for every single hour that you put into your service, It makes it such a rich place for me and others to come and then to be able to go out into the world in our week and be a little brighter than we were. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Wendy, for that. That's wonderful. Any other comments or questions? Justice?
Yes, Justice Gross. Thank you for having a spiritual home for me. It was 22 years ago that my girlfriend wanted to find a church to come to, and I was like, oh, I'll go. And Cedric was here playing gospel music, and she never came back, but I've been here ever since. And I just want to thank Laura for nurturing me in my music career, in my music life here, and y'all help letting me do meditations and announcements, and it's been a gift. Thank you.
Do we have any other comments or questions? Just on a personal note, Julie and I have been involved in Unity. Our lives have become much richer, and we meet new people that we've not met before. We get to know our friends here a little bit better, a little deeper every month, every year, every Sunday, and our understanding of human nature grows just a little deeper, and that's kind of what it's all about. We're all connected to each other in ways we do not understand or even recognize, and being here has been a marvelous adventure for us. John, would you like to pray us out of this annual meeting?
So we're going to pray out by praying in, feeling that presence of love, appreciation. We are feeling the divine within us because we are connected. That's where our life is flowing from. So just hold that knowing that there is a light brighter than 10,000 suns shining at the core of your being. And we're all around the same campfire of light, and we're all immersed in that light. And it is a power that is so strong here. And just feel that. Be aware of that. Feel the gratitude for that, knowing that what we are creating here is truly divine, truly special, and it's just going to keep growing. And there is something, it's like a plant that is just unfolding, and we're connected from the roots to the leaves. Just feel that growth happening. You're part of that plant. And it's not just Unity the Valley, because Unity the Valley is part of the whole, of one divine whole. One divine, wonderful presence of being, of spirit. What a blessing it is for us to know that, feel that, and to be of service to that. The more we step into that flow, the more our life shines with joy, with peace, with abundance. Thank you, Spirit. I thank Spirit for each one of you for shining your light today and always in this community. And thank you to the board and all the volunteers, all our staff. Ryan, thank you for hanging out with us hour by hour in every event we throw at you. Thank you, live stream. Thank you, live stream community, those who are joining us online, feeling that presence and knowing that, yes, wherever you are part of Unity. And for that, we are grateful. Thank you, Spirit. Let's go have a wonderful year, okay? Amen.